Mr. Secretary of State, Thorkell Larsson, Ambassador Dag Werner Holter, Dr. Sigurður Kristinsson, Vice Rector, and other distinguished guests, dear friends and colleagues. My name is Einar Gunnarsson, and I'm the Permanent Secretary of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Iceland. It gives me great pleasure to be allowed to say a few words at the opening of this seminar, fitly named in Northern Mists, like the majority of the Icelandic airspace this morning, which is a showcase of our strong cooperation in the field of Arctic science. It is no coincidence that the seminar takes place in Akureyri, the capital of Northern Iceland, and a thriving center for Arctic research and education. Akureyri hosts the University of Akureyri with its Polar Law program, the Stephenson Arctic Institute, and 2 Arctic Council working groups, as well as the Arctic Portal. Akureyri was therefore a natural setting for our foreign ministers, Össur Skarphéðinsson and Jonas Gahr Støre, to recently sign an MOU on Arctic scientific research cooperation between Norway and Iceland. The central aim is simple: to nurture and share the most important Arctic resource, the human resource. And I am told by those who participated in that event that they had a near miss. They had an adventurous flight back from Akureyri, maybe giving rise to our lack of courage of taking the flight that is leaving in 20 minutes for Akureyri. And I understand some of the lecturers will be on that flight, but some are like us, the mere simple officials, and are not daring this venture and relying on technology instead. The MOU I refer to is already operative. It provides for substantial financial contribution from both Norway and Iceland, and lends important support to scientists and students of the 2 countries to cooperate in the field of Arctic sciences. This cooperation contributes to the well-being of the communities in the High North. Through the same MOU, a new professorship in the field of Arctic studies has been established at the University of Akureyri. I have been informed that there are several competent candidates for the position, and that the name of the new professor will be revealed within few days. Furthermore, funds have been set up for student exchange and workshops for Icelandic and Norwegian experts. Already numerous students from both countries are taking advantage of this opportunity and are deepening their knowledge about Arctic issues and simultaneously strengthening the ties between Iceland and Norway. Dear guests, it is a fact worth repeating that unprecedented changes are taking place in the Arctic. We, the Northerners, are faced with a variety of pressing concerns that put the responsibility on us to provide the support needed so that science is able to fulfill its important role. We must ensure that the scientific community isn't isolated from the public debate. It must be the other way around, because public policy needs to be supported by a strong knowledge base. The research and monitoring programs helps government to identify problems, set priorities, and implement possible solutions. We must also be aware that research is increasingly recognized as an essential driving force in modern economies and the well-being of nations. One obvious example here in Iceland is fisheries. This key sector thrives from strong interaction and dialogue between scientists and decision makers. The Marine Research Institute in Iceland provides the government with scientific advice based on its research on marine resources and the environment. On the basis of the advice, the government decides catch and conservation levels. This works well, and there is a general agreement among Icelanders on respecting and following scientific advice when it comes to fisheries. For a country like Iceland, where the backbone of the economy is the exploitation of living marine resources, reliable proposals from marine experts founded on scientific data can be a deciding factor whether the state budget is written in red or black. Dear friends, let me conclude by expressing my gratitude to the organizers for their preparations of this seminar. I also want to thank the Icelandic and Norwegian participants who, with their contribution to Arctic research, will undoubtedly help us gain an understanding of the past so that we can better predict and prepare for the future. Before I leave the podium to my good friend Thorkell Larsson, I want to stress again our sincere regrets that we did not make it north to Akureyri today with you. We had been hoping to have a nice opportunity both to listen to your lectures and to mingle with you at the end of the day at the Hof Culture House. As I understand, we are trying to play it along the changes that we are dealing with.